Hello everyone, it's once again time for This Week in Keyboards. Today's episode will be on last week's non-key set interest check and group buys. Sorry for the delay on getting this video out. Check my channel if you missed the last episode, because like that episode, we're gonna have a lot going on today. Are you ready? Well, I hope you are, because we got more news today, more news at the end of the week, so we can catch up on the news. And all the news, it just doesn't stop, so we can't stop either. First up, we have the Ogre by Zekk.works. This is a board that looks simple and it's clean, and I love it. 4.5 degree typing angle, a chill 16.8mm front height, a choice of either frosted polycarb half plate or full aluminum plate, and a big ol' O-ring that goes around the PCB and plate for a sweet typing feel. After building my Singa Unicorn and TGR Jane V2 CE, I really like the O-ring around the plate and PCB build style, except for when I use screw-in stabs when I'm supposed to use clip-on stabs, and then I forget midstream, and then I don't realize it until I've built like the whole board, and then I gotta backtrack, and that's just my life, but that's okay. There's only gonna be 35 spots for this group buy. Why is it so limited? Well, it's not because Zekk has like amazing clout and he thinks, oh, it's only worth 35 of them. No, it's because Zekk is in a similar position to me in this hobby. A full-time working person with limited free time. I respect Zekk's own self-determination and self-restraint in choosing to make the group buy smoother for a smaller amount of people compared to shitty for a large amount of people. I'll be doing my best to charge the gates to grab one of those 35 spots when they become available, and I'd recommend the same for you. Our next topic is a very exciting one for a lot of people. The other week, Zeal of Zealpc showed a little bit off of the new 3-in-1 switch in action. That's right, this is a switch with linearity, tactility, and clickiness all in one. Obviously not at the same time, but hey, the switch can be easily changed between the three without heavy modification. From what we know, the tactile mechanism is similar to Alps, and honestly this is interesting, as the modularity offers a lot of freedom and a lot of questions. While Zealpc has been known to have high prices, the switches are undoubtedly very smooth and popular in the community, especially the Zealios V2 with that big tactility. With this new switch, Zeal not only adds a clicky switch to his lineup, but is essentially taking notes from Alps switches and integrating them on this new modern switch platform. In terms of advancements and switches, this is going to be an interesting note to pay attention to. Let's hope it doesn't flop. Up next from Leandrin at Mechanisk, we have the Tinned Reworked. Now, Leandrin is entering the modern design trend of gaskets in his new 60%. This is a design that he's been working on and it's been in the workshop since 2017, but hey, the wait has been worth it because it looks like in late July, you will have a chance to enter in a raffle. 100 spots available. So what are you going to do if you win? What are you going to get if you win? The Tinned is a 60% keyboard with 8 degree typing angle, heavily chamfered edges, low profile front height, seamless sides, a VIA compatible PCB by Wilba with a USB-C daughter board, custom molded silicone pieces for the gasket, and a new plate design with mild relief cuts. I think the Tinned looks decent, and overall, this is pretty exciting for Mechanisk. They've been doing great with the new rounds of Fiels and Clipes, and I think the Tinned will be their next big hit. So how much does the raffle cost if you win? $400, and hey, if you want to add a carbon fiber plate, another 25 buckaroos. But to be honest, I would personally, if I won this, take a Dremel to the brass plate and make it a half plate, because I found a good deal of problems in life can be solved with a Dremel. Dremels are great. I'd recommend one. They can fix so many things and break so many things, but that's okay. The next keyboard I'm going to talk about today is the Gaff 60 HHKB by Hannibal Chu. When I look at this board and the details surrounding it, ooh, yeah. So what is the Gaff 60 HHKB? This is a fixed HHKB layout with seamless sides, a 6 degree typing angle, a top mounted sprung or solid plate, I'll get to that in a moment, an internal brass weight, and a Martin Watt PCB. So why does this board interest me? This right here. The spring, aka leaf spring-ish mounted plate, is something I haven't tried but very much so want to try. A somewhat uniform flex, if you will, might be the typing experience I want to try out and I might like it. The internal weight kind of reminds me of the Lama internal one, and the long feet at the top and bottom definitely give off that vibe as well. Overall, I think this board has a lot going for it just because of that plate mounting style and how much that intrigues me, interests me, and calls to me. Well, it is now time for the Now, let's get started with the rapid fire. We're going to start with the Drakon, a 65% with a knob and separated keys. Oh, how daring. Although the most daring part is probably the extremely smooth roll off on that front lip. I'm not a fan of that badge as it extends past the right arrow key and the OLED screen. Next up, the Icky 68. The top and bottom mesh together surprisingly interestingly on the sides, and the back making this a $289 interesting proposition for those who want a 60% but a little bit extra on top or on the side-ish. The Clarabelle, coming on the 15th of this month, this mini 1800 southpaw is perfect for those who love 40% but also need a number crunch on the side. The S3LQ. I'm not sure if I'll cover Deskmats in future episodes, but hey, here are some Deskmats. Meh. The Typeau Plonk. This is the chunkiest Plonk I've seen to date. Perfect for the Plonk enthusiast who wants a chunkier, premiumer Plonk. Lama X60. A 60% that will quickly be confused with another board called the X60, but otherwise looks simple and clean. Just like the other board called the X60. Ultimately, the price will make or break this board. Like the other X60. Crazy. AE Deskmats. Actually, some of these designs are pretty cool and, yeah, better than the ones earlier. Alps and Hi-Tek 725 Deskmats. More Deskmats I'd also consider because I'm a bit nerdy. These are a bit nerdy. Therefore, that's a good mesh right there. You know what I'm saying? Next up, we have the Hatchet. While unfortunately not the beloved story by Gary Paulson, this 60% features a low-profile case design with a wrist rest I actually wish went all the way down to an edge at the end to stay true to its name. A high-profile version of this case would be much cooler. But we're not on the cool board, so meh. Boston 120%. Have you ever looked at the Austin, but thought, you know what? This doesn't have enough keys or a knob. Well, here you go. Also, they really are going to use through-hole diodes as we see in the renders? Really? We're not going to do that, are we? That's going to come like that from the factory, please? No one wants to do 120 switches plus diodes. Infinity 68, the follow-up to the Oil 68. It's basically the Oil 68, except the designer made the sides and back a bit cooler. The poor escape key is doing its best to escape the keyboard, and I don't blame it. The underscore 33, a 30% with a big spacebar. Feels more like a novelty than a real usable keyboard, although with these days what we see all those redonkulous things coming from the 40 and sub 40% community, who knows if people are serious about this. Probably. Elongate. Despite the name, this isn't an ad you'd see on a certain hub site, but this is instead a 40% board with a split spacebar, arrows, and a mini numpad, essentially a 50% board at this point. The polycarbonate version is the coolest one. King K Kong 660 keyboard. The back looks pretty cool and industrial, and that pink Cerakote color is fire, but hey, I thought we had buried the 660 layout at this point. When did we go back to 2018? MK06, a 75% that's just oozing with design decisions equal to Homer Simpson's makeup shotgun. Just way too much going on. Once again, I apologize for the late video, but this week I'm gonna hustle and work on more for y'all, including This Week in Keyboards, which Switch, possibly some more streams this week, we'll see. But hey, thank you everyone so much for watching, and don't forget to check out the sponsor for this episode, Novel Keys. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, hey, consider it, and comment down below on what you're looking forward to. Yeah. I have some keyboard chores and build streams coming up like I mentioned, so hope you guys can stay tuned on Twitch and on YouTube. I hope you keep on keyboarding.